Andy says beat Texas A&M, and you are instantly in the top 10.
Of the rankings or of recruiting? I mean, maybe. It really depends on where we start. I think in terms of the rankings, I'm a proponent of rankings being later than earlier. I've changed my thought on that over time, but regardless of the ranking number, I will agree with Andy in the unsaid sentiment that if we beat Texas A&M, that's a landmark victory to build upon. And if we reference that back to the previous answer about talking about this recruiting stuff, if you've read the recruiting rules, you know that the last recruiting rule is win. That is proof of concept for recruits. This is what we're doing. This is how we're doing it. And we're already winning. Come and join the train. We'll win even more. You win at Texas A&M this year. There's your proof. That's the thing. That's the thing that you talk about.
I think we talked about it last week. In my book, if this team beats either Clemson or Texas A&M, that will be the program's most significant win since they stepped off the field against Notre Dame at Hard Rock in 2017.
Fact. I agree completely. Who else has Miami beaten since then? You know what I mean?
Yeah, pretty much a lot of teams that they are supposed to beat. Cormani McLean. So he's being brought up in the chat. Arguably the best
of course.
cornerback in the country out of Lakeland, Florida.
Lake Gibson High School, and that is where Mario Cristobal was the keynote speaker for the football banquet yesterday. And so that is not a violation because they paid the fee. They hired the man to come and speak, and I'm sure that he enjoyed doing that up in Polk County, which is somewhere that Miami has struggled to recruit recently. But Cormani McLean is the kind of prospect that, if you want to turn things around, that's how you do it, and that's where you start. So yeah, he's a top recruit, and again, coming in mid-cycle for somebody of Cormani McLean's caliber, it's going to take a lot of work, but Cristobal's about this work. He's talking about, or recruits are saying that they get text messages or they see text messages from him at 2 and 4 in the morning and things like that. People saying he doesn't leave the facility until 2. Waking up in the middle of the night to send a text message to recruits and everything because he's incessant about talent acquisition, which you have to. You have to, because if you don't have the players, you can't make the plays. You can't make the plays. You can't win the games. Just plain and simple. So, talent acquisition is a major factor. And yeah, Cristobal is very dialed in with that.
You'll have to interpret this one, but it's the last question I see posted from Byron about, can you explain the hiring of high school coach and if it will affect Ruben Bain recruitment?
So Ruben Bain plays at Miami Central. We just hired, was it Lockett back? Or one of the assistants. We hired somebody from Central in a support. Wait, his brother. And we hired somebody else from Central, I believe, in a support role. So will it affect Ruben Bain's recruitment? That's up to Ruben Bain, really. But it is not. I know that some people were talking about it being a violation years ago. Like if you hired a high school head coach to a non-on-field role, then you would not be able to recruit that high school for a couple of years or something like that. Or I remember there was a rule or something like that, which is like why when Miami hired Mike Rumpf, it was very strongly stated, no, he's going to be the cornerbacks coach. He's an on-field coach. So, quiet all that noise about Miami will not be able to recruit at American Heritage for 2 or 3 years or whatever, like boom. I do not believe that the scenario continues where if you hire a coach, then you cannot recruit anyone from that school. Plus the fact his brother is already on staff and everything. So, there's that. But but I don't think that anything would change with that. But again, I think that that's up to Ruben if that makes Miami more or less appealing to him. But I don't think that there's any structural thing that would preclude Miami from recruiting. Because and think about it, man. It took them forever to win a state championship, right? At Miami Central. When I was at Miramar, Miramar beat Central in the state semifinals in 2009 before winning their first, and to this day, only state championship in football. So Central has not been winning state championships for eons and eons. It's been in the last decade and a half, right? Really, I mean, yeah, the last 13 years. But that program is a monster. You know what I mean? Like, they're up there with Aquinas. Or, I mean, in terms of Power 5 players. Now, Aquinas probably does send more guys down the roster to other, smaller schools, but top end talent, I mean, there's been more than you can shake a stick at Miami Central. Plenty. And there's current year, next year, year after that, there's going to be the year after that, and so on and so forth. You think Miami is going to, the University of Miami, the Hurricanes, are going to do something that will preclude them from recruiting any of the talent that goes to Miami Central Senior High School at this current time? And the state of their program and what they're doing and the talent that they're churning out? I strongly